for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer. But what they don't tell you is the poorer part may just mean overdraft fees in your bank account, or it could mean the credit cards are overdue and the bills don't stop.
Right. And they don't tell you that richer, it don't just mean cash, it don't mean the house, the cars, the assets that you might have. Rich, we found out over the years that rich could mean leftovers from the night before.
Pizza or spaghetti.
Right. Or it could mean sitting down watching the Chicagos or
the Law and Orders.
Law and Orders, and not at the movies or anything. It doesn't mean spending money. It doesn't mean having a lot of money. Richer, we found, is spending time with each other.
Correct. Welcome to For Lifelong Love Lessons, where we've been doing life, love, and marriage for almost 29 years.
I'm Vernice Jr.
And I'm Erika Sorrell.
And even though we've been doing it for almost 29 years, we're still figuring out how to honor God in our finances, how to love each other,
right,
and how to honor each other and balance our budget. That's always an ongoing thing because life happens, bills come in, unexpected comes in, and you still have to figure out how to budget. Fortunately for us, both of us have accounting degrees. We don't always use them like that, but
right.
We both have accounting degrees, so it makes it a little easier because we understood budgeting from our education.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that it's easy for us to balance the budget because life kicks in, and that becomes hard and a challenge in marriage.
Right. So today we're talking about money, who handles it, how we've handled it, and what we've learned along the way, whether it be something that's hard in those lessons or sometimes it's hilarious along the way.
Right. So why don't you pull up a chair? We're at our kitchen table. That's normally where the budget occurs. If you're discussing budget, it normally happens at the kitchen table with a pen and pad, maybe your tablet, your phone, or whatever it is. Pull up a chair and let's discuss finances. Now, being that we invite you to the table,
right,
we know that when you get invited to the finance table or to the budget table, that brings up anxiety. People get nervous about it. Your heart starts beating. I know whenever we have to talk about it, it just really gets to me when we have to talk about the money. So pull up that table. Don't worry about the fear because fear kicks in whenever you talk about money. So don't worry about the fear. Do away with the anxiety and let's pull up this chair and let's talk money in our marriages. So since we're both accountants, when we talk about the income statement, which is how much we bring in
minus how much we're about to spend,
gives us the bottom line. So we're going to start from the top. And the top thing that we're going to talk about is
who handles the money.
Who handles the money? That could be a big conversation. And before talking about who handles the money, there's a lot of conversation about who makes the most money. That could be a something in a marriage that could kill a marriage because someone feels inadequate. Typically men feel inadequate because maybe the wife is making more money. But if you look at it the way that it was intended, we're both there to support each other.
Right.
And as long as it works for you, don't let nobody tell you or make you feel less of a man or less of a woman because your earning potential is not the same as your spouse, because that doesn't matter. What matters are the two of you in a marriage.
Definitely.
So with that being said, let's talk about who manages the money.
So it's kind of a funny story.
Well, before you tell the story, sometimes some people are thrown into it. It's not by choice.
Right.
It's not by choice. Sometimes it just happens. Who might be the better person, or it's just not a choice. It's just that way.
It just happens.
So
I'm gonna tell you how it just happened. We came back from our honeymoon we got married December 21st. So we left the next morning and we came back December 24th because we wanted to be home for Christmas with our families. And when we got to his mother and father's house, we walk in, everybody's there, and greeting us and, hey, how y'all doing? How was the honeymoon? Y'all good? We talking about the wedding, all that good stuff. And then my mother-in-law walks up to me with a shoebox in her hand and puts it in my lap and says, here. And I was like, here what? And she was like, this is Vernice's box with his checkbook and all his bills in it. Everything is paid through February. So you just only have to start with March. And I was like, so he don't pay, like, he don't write his own bills, his checks. He don't do none of that. Okay. So he had never done it. I had done it because I had a car note. I had insurance. And I think that was all I had. I started. I was 22 years old, and all of a sudden, here's this box with somebody else's financial information, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
To tell you guys the truth, and I tell this story a lot when I talk to guys about marriage and stuff, and about money. Right now, even from that day, my mama gave her that box. I didn't even know she gave her the box.
But he was sitting there.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to it. Hey, look, that's what it is. So even to this day right now, if you was to ask me my bank account number right now, I don't know it.
Which has been the same for 29 years.
I don't know it. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. But she's been managing it since then. And it's really been a blessing for us. But there's still challenges in it because when we look at who manages the money, it's not always an easy decision. For us, it was kind of like thrown in her lap. But still, you have situations where some people are spenders, some people are savers, some people are stashers, some people are slashers, some people are passers,
and some folks are planners.
And planners. So in looking at all,
and then wait. Hold on. You got the other one.
What's that?
You have worriers and you have won't-hers. And you probably like, well, what you mean worriers and won'ters?
Yeah.
So he's the worrier and I'm the won'ter, which means every time I'm writing a check or every time I'm looking at the budget, I'm like, won't he do it? Don't he always?
Yeah, but when we're looking at determining who's the better person to be the money manager, you have to consider these things, and you have to be willing to work with each other in order for it to work. Because in our relationship, I might be the saver, and she's the spender. And just because she's the spender doesn't mean that she spends everything.
Right.
And just because I'm the saver doesn't mean that I hold on to everything. But that's the way I try to do it, and that's that spender versus saver part.
And in me being the spender, it's pretty much because I purchase everything for the house, including him.
Right.
Like, he does not buy himself clothes. He does not buy himself shoes. He doesn't buy much of anything for himself. And so then I have to go, okay, no, we are going to get these things for him, like for his birthday, for Christmas. And I try to do things outside of birthday and Christmas because we all like new stuff every once in a while. And as much as he does not like to spend, he gets excited when I bring a package for him, or if I hold up a hanger because I've taken it out and I want to present it to him, kind of nice and neat or what have you. So as much as I may be the spender, I have to spend for the household.
Right. And when we say that jokingly, it doesn't mean that she's overspending.
Right.
Because she understands our budget. But on that note, when you see me out looking fly, it's because my wife did it. She know how to dress me up. Everything that I have, she's getting it for me. I love it. It boils down to me really trusting her, and she knows me. And then on the other hand, I don't buy anything. So when she gets stuff for herself. And when we're talking about stashers versus slashers, I'm a slasher. I want to cut back. I look for bargains. I look for deals. But she's not a stasher, meaning that she'll go buy things and hide it.
Right.
Because that ruins, that hurts budgets, that hurts trust, that hurts confidence in each other. So if you're out there and you are a stasher, I suggest that you stop doing that and be honest and open in the budget, because if you're stashing things because, well, I don't want him to know, that's not good. And when it happens, it breaks trust. And whenever he goes out and does stuff and stashes it, then you're going to be upset. But you did it, but you don't want him to do it. So you have to be careful of that. And this is identifying who manages the money, planner versus a passer. I'm a passer. I might pass by and say, oh yeah, let's get that. But then she's more of the planner.
Right. And I'm budgeting for, okay, should we do this or should we do that? So
Right.
that's where our roles kind of, if you will, come in.
Yeah. Early on in marriage, because of the way that we handle our finances early on, I didn't know, I wouldn't know how much money we had in the bank. Like I told you, I don't know the bank account number, so I couldn't tell you. Even today, I couldn't tell you. But early on, I really don't like to spend a lot. But whenever I do spend, I understood that she was the one that was handling the budget. Tell them what I used
So
to do too.
the funny story about this is that, so I did accounting for 10 years, decided I wanted to switch careers, and I started teaching school. So I think my third year in, we opened a brand new school in the neighborhood, and we got to be really good friends because we were all starting this brand new building together. Whether we had been in the industry for a minute or there were some brand new teachers, we all became really, really close. But at any rate, they called down to my office. Called down to my classroom. I'm back in corporate America. They called down to my classroom and they were like, Miss Sorrell. And I'm like, yes. And they said, Mr. Sorrell, your husband's on the phone. It's an emergency. So here I go, running down the hallway to the conference area. And as soon as I go in, because in my mind, I'm like, oh Lord, something happened to my mom, something happened to his mom. What is going on? Because the kids were at school with me, so I know nothing was wrong with them. I get down to the phone and I'm like, hello? I'm at the store. Is it okay if I spend $25? I was like, he did not have me thinking that something was definitely wrong, and I'm running down the hallway behind $25. But at the same time, I did understand and I appreciated it because, like he said, I was doing the budget. I knew how much money was in the bank. I knew if we needed to, kind of slack off and take it easy, or if we could, go out and have ourselves a good time and get a surprise or something. But he respected me enough and our household and our bank account enough to know, hey, let me run this by her before I go and spend over this certain. Now, if it was $24.99, he didn't call. But $25.01, he was definitely going to make that phone call.
Yeah, and I did it because I did understand that I didn't know how much money we had. And if I went out and just, on a spur of a moment, bought something, irrationally thinking, just buying stuff, then it could have hurt us. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't checking in, I wasn't doing any of that. Right. But I wanted to make sure that what I was doing would not hurt us. And I couldn't be selfish and just think about myself. I had to think about our family. No budget. I would say no budget is dummy proof.
Correct.
No budget is dummy proof. Things happen. And being young in marriage, we made some mistakes.
Right.
We made some mistakes. We made a lot of mistakes that when we look back over them, made those mistakes. By the grace of God, we're still here. By the grace of God, we suffered some loss, but those losses were lessons for us that we learned. One of the things that I look back and I think maybe we should have done differently, or maybe a mistake that we made, was when we left corporate America jobs, right, we cashed out our investment accounts.
We did.
And looking back at it, I think those were mistakes that we made. And I'll tell you why it was a mistake. Because the things we bought,
we have no idea what it was.
the things we bought with our money.
Because we already had the house. Like we had done the first house.
Yeah.
We had the house that we're in now.
Yeah.
Before we decided to leave corporate America, and it was like, well, what did we go and buy? We had cars.
Yeah.
What did we go and buy?
I don't know. So we made some mistakes. So you have to be patient with each other, and you have to give each other room.
Right.
This is what we call grace.
Grace. Yeah.
We have to give each other grace because we're not perfect, and we're trying to work this thing out for our families. understand that there will be mistakes.
Right.
Now, don't just go out there and do something dumb.
Especially don't do it intentionally.
Right.
That's what makes it really dumb. When you go out and do something intentionally thinking you're hurting your spouse, when in actuality you're hurting your whole household.
Right. So be mindful, but mistakes happen. And the best way that you can resolve this, the takeaway from this part of who manages the money, the takeaway is that you should put communication over conflict.
Right.
Communication can help resolve a lot of things. If you would just talk about it, doesn't matter who manages the money.
Right.
What matters is that the two of you are on the same page in regards to the financial direction of your family. That's going to be the most important thing. And that cannot happen if you are not communicating.
Right. Because we know some people who the wife handles the money, and we know couples where the husband handles the money. So like he said, it does not matter who does it. It just matters that there's communication and respect for the whole house about it.
Right. Communication over conflict and communication over control. Money habits are one thing to talk about, but what about when the money gets tight? What about when real life kicks in? What about
when your money is funny and your change is strange?
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah. What about the times when in the budget, when the top line and the middle is more than the top line.
Yep.
When what's being taken out is
It's
more
more
than
than what's put in.
what's being put in. When your deposits are less than your withdrawals, those can be some very, very challenging times.
And that's what causes, I guess, what, people say are financial hardships. When, maybe you have a blowout and your tire is bad and your spare is messed up. So it's like, okay, now I got to go buy a tire and a spare. Or if the refrigerator stops running, or the kids' school, all of a sudden they come in with fundraisers and it has to be a certain amount, and if not, then everybody looks at your kid crazy, and your kid is standing there looking at you like, but no, I gotta sell these, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. So yeah, those financial hardships don't have a scheduled date on them.
No.
They just show up.
Yes, Lord.
Unexpected.
They just show up out of nowhere. You get them
Unexpectedly.
phone calls, something happens, but through it all, we've learned, and we're still learning. In
Right.
close to 29 years, we've learned to not let financial stress
Right.
break us apart.
Because you have to stay united during financial stress. You have to stay united. It's very important not to blame one person or blame the other. It's important to have that mentality of it's us together, not me versus him or him versus me. It's us versus the problem that we're facing.
Yeah. And a lot of times when the financial stress kicks in, it can divide. And when division comes in, it's harder for the family to stand.
Definitely.
When the two that's leading the family are not in agreement, because financial hardship kicks in. So if you don't take anything away from us today, if you're struggling in financial areas, if some things came up, it's very important that you make a very concerted effort, a very conscious effort to be one together.
Definitely.
And to face it together. Sometimes when financial hardship comes in, the like you said, the blame game, and not only the blame game, but the shame game.
Yeah.
One person is blaming, and then sometimes another person feels shameful because
For what happened.
it got out of hand, and it's not necessarily that person's fault, but they're ashamed of it because they're the money manager.
Right.
In our situation, I know several times we've had discussions about it, and Erica felt like, well, I didn't know how to say it. I didn't know what to say about it. And it's kind of like, well, no, you have to say something out of it. But rewinding back over the years, I've said some things that I'm embarrassed about. I've said some things because my mama gave it a shoebox, so, and I trusted her. But then I would say things like, well, where'd the money go? Knowing that I don't see nothing extra. This before Amazon.
This is when we were going to the Galleria together. So there was no hiding.
Yeah, way before Amazon. Because now Amazon drops things off at the door. I see where that money going right now. That money going to Amazon. I know it right now. But before then, it wasn't no Amazon. If we were buying, we had to go to the Galleria. We had to go to these stores. I didn't see anything extra going on. But yet I would say things like, well, where's the money going? And that was making her feel shameful because she wasn't doing anything.
And I'm sitting here looking like, well, you know, these 3 kids that you made, the people are growing. They won't stop. And we need this and we need that and they need this and they need that. So, yeah, we were doing what we needed to do. Right. Or I was doing what we needed to do.
And so the thing here is you have to be careful to not place the blame, not feel shameful, and know that it's not you versus the problem. It's us versus the problem.
Together.
Even though I'm not the person handling it, it needs to be us together. So you cannot feel shameful and not include your husband or your wife because they need to know.
Right.
And it's not for you to burden it by yourself because it's the two of you together. And another thing we want to share with you is that if you trust in God and you put your faith in God, we've seen it where at one point my job, the way I worked, I couldn't work because it was a natural disaster. So I couldn't work. We're getting to the end of depleting the funds that we had because no matter, people save up money, they can say how much money they have.
But when you can't get paid for 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah, and that's a problem. And if you can save, but that starts to deplete what you save.
Right.
So I couldn't work. And during that time, I really feel like those were the best times of our lives.
Right.
That's why I say
it brought us closer together.
Richer is not the money. Richer is us. Richer is our kids. And what happened was that I couldn't work. So what we would do is we would watch TV shows.
And that's how he got introduced to my girlfriends.
Yeah, my girlfriends. I thought the show was dumb, but I started watching it. And the more I watched it with her, the more we enjoyed it. We learned to become unified during financial crisis.
Right.
And I believe that that's what brought us through, being unified and not allowing the crisis to take us down, but coming together, watching our shows and building our relationship in spite of a financial crisis. So we want to encourage you right now to set some parameters where there's no blame, there's no shame, there's honest communication about where you are. Sometimes you might have to have weekly or monthly reminders. We talked about this, maybe having okay, we 1st and 10, okay, we good. We 2nd and 4, okay, we good. Oh shoot, we 3rd and 4 because we didn't catch up, so we getting close to crunch time. Or it's fourth down, so we don't need to spend.
And when it's 4th down, I don't care if it's 4th and inches or 4th and 10. It's time to start being careful about what we're doing and making sure that we're not playing that blame game.
Right, and it's important because if the person managing the money does not send up the bat signal, meaning that we need to make a little bit more money, or the stop signal saying, hey, we need to slow down, then that's what leads to disaster because there's no communication. So make sure you have some good safe zones and trust, even in financial hardship, trust that God is a provider. And if you lean on God and lean on each other, you will make it through every financial hardship that you will face. And we're witnesses of that because we've been through some rough things in finances. At the root of all of this, whether it's hardships, who handles the money, decisions being made, it all. So we have the top line, we discussed the middle, and now we're talking the bottom line. What falls out of all of this is one word: trust.
Yep.
That's what it boils down to: trust. It doesn't matter if you have one account, joint account, if you have his account, her account, if you have 10, 15, 20 accounts with your children's name, your mom and them name, it doesn't matter how many accounts you have, because if you don't have trust, none of it will work.
Right. And it's built through honesty. It's built through being consistent. It's built through having shared values, having discussions,
Right.
having communication. That's what trust is built through.
Right.
And so what we have to understand, what works for us may not work for everyone else. We have one bank account.
Right.
And no. We actually have a couple. But it was because we were kind of forced into it.
Yeah, but when we started, for most of our marriage,
Right.
for most of the 29 years, we've had one account,
One account.
joint account, and then for other reasons, we developed other accounts. But
he knows everything that's in it, what goes in it, what comes out of it. So everything with us.
I don't know.
It's because he does not want to know. So like he said, he sees every package that hits the porch now. Right. He understands everything that's going on.
Right.
So there's no hiding anything. When I bring it into the house, he's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Lord, I can't even surprise him. Just Jesus." Okay. So sometimes I'll get a notification that his gift has arrived, and I'll just leave it on the porch until he leaves to maybe go to church or to the store or to get an oil change. And I'm like, okay, let me go and get this package off the front porch so he won't ask me what it is, because it's for him. But at any rate, we do trust one another. He trusts me, and so I have to make sure that I keep that trust. I have to make sure that I don't go out and do things that will bring harm to our family. I have to make sure that I don't go out and do things that will bring harm to my husband. We are one. And if I, hurt the leg, then it's not just hurting him, that's hurting myself too, because we are one.
Right. So if you have a joint account, trust, because I have to trust that she's going to do right by the money that we have. I don't control her, because it's not about control. It's about being honest, about honoring each other in our finances. If you have two accounts, it's still about trust. There should not be anything that's hidden from each other.
Right.
If you want your marriage to work right in the area of finance, because you might be doing that and your spouse might feel shut out, but your spouse is not going to say anything because they feel ashamed about it.
Right.
Or you might be, oh, you don't need to know that, or this is what's mine is mine, is what's yours is no. That's not how marriage works. Marriage is about the two becoming one. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter how many accounts you have. The bottom line is trust. So again, have those weekly check-ins. Build trust over time. Trust does not come overnight.
Right.
It comes with time. So make sure you're building that trust over time by being transparent, and always be open.
Open and honest.
Open.
And that means being open with your communication to your spouse, and then also being open when they come to you so that you can receive what they're saying without judgment.
Right. And the last tip for this one is leave past mistakes
in the past.
Because we all make mistakes that we should grow from. If you made a mistake in the area of finances, grow, but leave the past in the past and don't bring it up. So we met this couple, an older couple, and they had been married for like
62 years.
62 years, and we were at a restaurant, and we saw them walking out. So we approached them, and we asked them how long they'd been married, and so I said, well, who handles the money for you guys? And so the wife said, oh, I handle the money now, but he's always handled the money up until they had a health situation that caused her to have to take over the finances. Right. And so we kind of talked about it, and she was saying, oh yeah, my husband always did it, but now I'm the more suitable person to handle the finances now. And so we kind of talked about it a little bit longer. And at the end of the conversation, she said one thing that I think that we all need to know. And this is wisdom from 62 years of marriage. 62 years of marriage. It's still going. She said, a house divided cannot stand. So we want to leave that with you all. A house divided cannot stand. You have to get on one accord in your finances.
And then to let you know also, money doesn't build a marriage, but how you handle it together, how you weather the storm can either strengthen your marriage or it can strain your marriage.
So whatever your financial setup looks like, trust God, trust each other,
Right.
and choose unity
Over.
disaster.
Right.
Choose unity even during financial crisis. You have to pick each other because you're not fighting each other. You're fighting for each other with each other.
Right. And that's how you weather the storm of for richer and for poorer together.
So this is a wrap for this episode. Join us on our next episode for Lifelong Love Lessons with Vernice and Erika Jr.
And Erika Sorrell.
Next week, we'll be talking about family matters. When God designed marriage, He designed it for unity, but when family gets involved, so it could be very complicated.
I say ain't no telling what's gonna happen.
In-laws, outlaws. When God designed it, He designed it for unity, but it becomes complicated when we include family. See you guys at our next episode for Lifelong Love Lessons. You can join us on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube for Lifelong Love Lessons. 4L, baby.
Bye.